If you're in the market for a new graphics card right now, whether it be nvidia or AMD, it's absolutely incredibly difficult to get hold of a graphics card. I tried to get a 3070, failed. I tried to get the AMD 6800, failed. I tried to get a 6800 XT, failed. I tried to get a 3060 Ti, and I succeeded. Now, I did not expect to get one, but I got one purely because there was a mistake made on the store that I was shopping at. At the time of trying to buy, I had various shops up. So I'm in the UK, so I had box.co.uk app, I had eBuyer app, I had Scan website app, and I had the Currys website app. So this is kind of what I've done in the past to try and get a graphics card, and I failed every time. This time the wife said, she was home, she said, shall I try on the iPad? So I said to her, you have Currys on your iPad, just concentrate on Currys and I'll try and concentrate on the other websites. So I was looking at Scan, eBuyer and Box, still keeping an eye on the Currys. So what happened was, with about 5 minutes to go before 2 o'clock, the wife says to me on her iPad, she said, this here, the XLR8 Gaming PNY one, she said, this has got a tick by it. Now let me show you on the screen then. So nothing new was available. And then suddenly she says to me, the way you see here, like now, not available for delivery, that popped up with a tick with 5 minutes to go, which meant that you could add it to the basket. So she went on to the product and it gave the option to add to basket. Now, none of the others had this option to add to basket with 5 minutes to go. She couldn't purchase it, it was unavailable to buy, but you could put it into the basket, which gave you an head start. So 2 o'clock comes along, Box website at the time did not show any 3060s. You could search, it was nothing came onto the website. Scan website crashed, just went to an error 44, couldn't do nothing there, so I give up on that. At 2 o'clock comes, the wife's still on the iPad looking at this one. Now, firstly, I will say that if you give me an option at that price point of 450, I would have took the MSI. I'll be perfectly honest with you. This wasn't my first choice, but it was the only one that had the option, add to basket, and purchase. At 2 o'clock come along, and she said, I can buy it, I can pay for it. So I said, just buy it. So she buys it, goes through, within instant seconds, I then find it, and I tried to add the basket. I thought, well, I'll try it, or maybe let's see if it's working on the PC for me. So I try adding the basket, and we're talking seconds now. Seconds difference between her clicking payment and me trying to click payment on this. I added the basket, and I cannot pay. So we're talking seconds. I don't know how many they had, but it was gone. The fact that she added it to the basket 5 minutes early was what allowed us to be able to buy it. Now, this is the first time I've ever tried to buy a graphics card at launch like this. I don't know if that's a norm, but it seemed like there was an error that Currys PC World had made to allow it to go to the basket 5 minutes early. Now, I did read a comment in someone else's video. The same thing happened to them in another country, and it allowed them to go to the basket early. If that hadn't have happened, we would have had no chance. So that is it. I've got the GeForce RTX 3060 Ti finally, and I'm upgrading from a GTX 970, which has got artifacts problems. I've had to downclock it to keep it going, so I'm in desperate need for a new graphics card. So this is not an unboxing really or anything. I already opened it out, so I'll show you exactly what I've got. And it's a lot smaller than I expected, and it comes in a much smaller box than you see some of them coming on YouTube. So that is basically it. I say it's not really big. It's dual fan. It's got the RGB lights, which I'm not really bothered about. I'm more into the function of it. You got the plastic to peel off there. It's got the 3 DP ports, are they called, and an HDMI. Now, I'm not a tech channel, so Don't subscribe me for tech. I'm normally interested in cars, but I do sim racing, so that's why I want a new graphics card, and for my business as well, and for YouTube videos I need the PC to edit. So I'm going to get that in. Being as a year, you might as well stick around and watch me put it in and see how much it improves my performance playing Assetto Corsa Competizione. Right, so this is my system with a GTX 970. It's all quite dusty in there, so it's going to have a good clean out. So I'm going to swap over the GPU. I'm not going to show you that because I'm not a tech channel. I'm also going to make some changes to the fans. I've got 2 fans at the top, 1 at the back. And at the moment they're all exhausting and I don't have any intake, so I want to swap it. I'm going to move them 2 to the front, so we got 2 intakes, and then it's going to be more of a blow through setup. So I'll get that done and I'll show you it all in. Right, well, I've completed most of the changes I wanted to do. I've first thing moved the 2 fans from up there to here, so rather than blowing out the top, they are now intake fans, they suck in. I've used a pair of the wife's old tights as a full filter around the outside of the grid. You can't really see it, but it's in front of them fans, so everything now has to pass through them, so that's become a filter. So the air is going to get drawn in through the front. I've turned the cooler so that's blowing through that way, and this fan then is exhaust, so that's now more of a positive pressure case, so the dust will be much better than it was, and the blow through should help keep things cool. Right, now to the graphics card. If you look at the 3060 Ti compared to my 970, you can see there's a significant difference. This is a 3 fan, obviously that's 2, you can work that out for yourself. Fans are much bigger on this one, well, I say much, a little bit bigger. The end cooling fan is a full blow through, so that should work a bit better. Yeah, I would have preferred if it was a big 3 fan, but I'm hoping they know what they're doing and it will be sufficiently cool. So all I've got to do now is pop that in and we're ready to fire it up. Right, well, that's everything complete. Graphics cards in, everything's done. I haven't put the side case on yet in case we had any problems, so now it's just a case of switching it on. Now I know there is like about 4 choices of colours, which I'm not really bothered about. Flashed through a few then. Right, so something's happening on there. So what I've got to do now, I think, is download new drivers. I uninstalled the old drivers before, so I'll go ahead and do that, and then I shall see how well it performs on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Right, so here I am now, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and these are my screen settings. I'm a 1080 165Hz screen. I've got to have a lot of the settings on low, mid and things like that. Like I said, I had artifacts on my 970, so I had to downclock it. So to try and get a decent frame rate, I had to run really low. So running these settings, I would get about 60-70 frames per second, sometimes a little bit low, and I couldn't play like that. I really struggled because in Project Cars 2 before I was used to well over 100 frames. So I've just done it now, just done a little test. I've got a little frame rate counter up in the top where you can't see, but that is now at 240. I've seen 250, 260, and that's just at them settings, so that's well over 3 times greater. So what I'm going to do now is go to my options and I'm going to put everything up to epic. So we're going to go epic on everything. I'm going to leave the resolution scale on 100%, and if we get great frame rates on that setting, I'm then going to whack the resolution scale up. So see what on epic, let me see. Yeah, so epic, I'm going to apply that and see what frame rate we get. So we're down 179, 170s. I mean, the game looks so much better. That looks brilliant. 180, so we're well over what my monitor can cope with. As long as I can get over 120, up to about the 140, I'm happy. But that is so much better than before. So what I'm going to do now is, just because I can, let's go into options. Let's see if we can run this at a higher resolution scale. Let's go for 200. Let's max it out. right, maxed out at 200% resolution scale, so there's pretty much nothing better that I can do on it. So yeah, frame rates have dropped right down now. We're at 60 frames, dropping into 50, so I won't be running that high. Right, so I think that pretty much that's enough for this video. I'm not going to go into the game too much. This was just all about swapping the graphics card, so I'm really happy with that. I'm going to play around with the settings, and I'm going to try and get it around to about 140 to 160 frames to match up similar to what my monitor can do. And yes, I'm very happy with that. So as always, thank you for watching my videos. If you liked it, give it a thumbs. I don't ask for that very often because I just don't. But anyway, I'm going to go now, people. Maybe I'll see you on the next video if you're interested in car stuff.